The first sign that something was wrong came in the whispers, carried by the wind, faint at first, almost imperceptible. Animals returning from the northern grazing grounds spoke in hushed tones. Glancing over shoulders as if the air itself had shifted, Kion felt it instantly, a ripple of unease coursing through the Pride Lands. Something had changed beyond the borders. Something that wasn't just a threat of teeth or claws. It was a challenge to everything the Circle of Life stood for. King Reirei had returned, and this time, he wasn't coming to conquer with force alone. He was coming with allies, promises, and loyalty so fierce that even fear couldn't break it. Free from the rocky cliffs of the Outlands, Reirei watched the Pride Lands with calculating eyes. His mane glimmered under the setting sun, and his posture radiated calm authority. The kind that commanded obedience, not through terror, but through trust. Unlike Genja's greed or Ushari's rage, Reirei understood the power of loyalty. It was a weapon invisible, yet stronger than claws, sharper than teeth. "If they will follow me," Reirei murmured, tail swishing thoughtfully. "And they will not even question it." Kion gathered the Lion Guard near Pride Rock, sensing the shift in the wind. The subtle tension that had settled across the plains. "Something is coming," he said, voice low but commanding. "And it's not like anything we've faced before." Fuli's eyes narrowed. "He's organized. I can feel it. Not just him, but every lion he's gathered." Best's heavy paw rested on the ground, the weight of concern in his stance. Loyalty can be as dangerous as venom. Once someone believes in a cause or a king, they follow blindly. That's when it becomes unstoppable. Ono tilted his head, scanning the horizon from above. The animals are moving differently too. Herds are forming along new paths, clustering, almost like they've been guided. There's a precision to it. Bunga bounced impatiently. "Then we'll show them teamwork is just as strong. We've faced the wildest chaos before." Kion nodded slowly, understanding that this battle would test something deeper than strength or speed. "This isn't just about stopping Reirei," he said. "It's about proving loyalty can't replace the Circle of Life. That it can be challenged, guided, and balanced." The first confrontation happened at a wide clearing near a crucial waterhole. Reirei's followers were there, a disciplined group of lions, each one poised and alert. Responding to subtle signals from their king, they weren't chaotic. They weren't scattered. They moved as one, a single force molded by belief in their leader. Kion's eyes widened. This wasn't intimidation, it was unity made formidable. Reirei stepped forward, calm and composed, his presence commanding attention without a roar. "Kion," he called, voice smooth but edged with authority. "You protect your circle, but how long can you withstand loyalty that never falters?" Kion met his gaze, unwavering. The circle doesn't rely on loyalty to one leader. It thrives on trust, respect, and balance. And that's stronger than blind obedience. Reirei's lips curved into a faint smile. "We'll see." The clash began subtly, not with a direct attack, but with positioning, maneuvering, and tests of response. Reirei's lions moved strategically, attempting to cut off herds from water, redirect paths, and isolate key animals. Loyalty guided them perfectly, each follower anticipating the next, reacting not out of fear, but conviction. Kion signaled the guard, and they moved in perfect coordination, not reacting to aggression, but predicting it. Fuli darted between paths to redirect herds safely. Best created shields for trapped animals. Ono directed from above with precision, and Bunga engaged Reirei's followers to distract them without causing harm. The difference was stark. Reirei's lions fought without anger, without fear, without hesitation. They were loyal, they were disciplined, and they were relentless. Ushari had been reckless. Janja had been greedy. Reirei was methodical. The first herd reached safety because the Lion Guard anticipated movement with unmatched teamwork. But the strain was immediate. Every misstep, every hesitation could be exploited by Reirei's followers. Loyalty created a synchronized rhythm that was hard to disrupt. Kion realized quickly that brute strength wouldn't win this battle. Strategy, observation, and trust within his own team would have to surpass loyalty at its peak. Reirei stepped into the fray personally, eyes locked on Kion. His first strike wasn't meant to harm, but to test reaction, to measure resolve. Kion parried smoothly, sensing the king's intent. "You trust too much in obedience," Kion said, dodging another precise swipe. "Strength isn't loyalty, it's choice," Rei hissed lightly, showing the faintest trace of frustration. Choice is irrelevant when the bond is forged. Watch and learn, little lion. Loyalty moves mountains, shapes battles, and commands the circle. Kion didn't respond with words. He responded with action. Every guard member executed perfect coordination, covering gaps, guiding herds, countering Reirei's attempts without fighting blindly. Slowly, steadily, the first advantage appeared not through force, but through adaptability. Loyalty was powerful, but it had rigidity. Blind obedience was predictable. And predictability was something Kion could exploit without breaking his own principles. As the sun dipped lower, shadows stretched across the plains, turning the battlefield into a dance of gold and shadow. The air was thick with tension, each movement critical. Reirei's followers pressed forward, confident, sure of their king. Kion's guard moved fluidly, adapting, communicating without words, turning every attempt to isolate or intimidate into an opportunity for unity to shine. Test. The first major test came when Reirei attempted to corner a herd near a rocky bluff. The followers moved with flawless timing, anticipating every escape route. It looked like disaster for the Pride Lands. The Lion Guard reacted instantly. Fully raced ahead, leading animals down hidden paths. Best blocked attackers while creating room for the herd to escape. Ono soared above, signaling directions and spotting weaknesses in Reirei's formation. Bunga, ever reckless, darted in and out, drawing attacks without faltering. Reirei's frustration was visible now. Loyalty was strong, yes, but it had limitations. The blind confidence of his followers became a pattern Kion could read, a rhythm that could be countered without anger or fear, but with patience and trust in each other. "You underestimate the bond," Reirei hissed, striking at Kion directly. "Loyalty doesn't falter," Kion parried, his voice steady. "Neither does trust." As night fell, the plains quieted for a moment. Both sides paused, calculating, observing. The Pride Lands were scarred but intact. Herds had survived, and the Lion Guard remained unbroken, though exhausted. Reirei had tested them, demonstrating that loyalty alone could challenge even the strongest defenses. But Kion had learned that trust, unity, and adaptability could counter the sharpest blade of obedience. Reirei withdrew into the shadows, eyes glowing faintly. "This is far from over," he whispered. "Loyalty will decide who lives and who falls." Kion watched him go, heart pounding, understanding the lesson already unfolding. Loyalty could command armies, unite followers, and intimidate even the most steadfast. But loyalty that lacked wisdom, that relied solely on conviction, could be guided, challenged, and ultimately overcome by those who acted with integrity and clarity. The night settled over the Pride Lands, stars twinkling like silent witnesses. Kion sat atop Pride Rock with the Lion Guard at his side, exhausted but vigilant. This battle was far from over. Reirei's loyalty was a formidable weapon, sharper than any fang, faster than any paw. But Kion's circle, built on trust, teamwork, and unwavering unity, had held, and in that quiet, Kion understood the truth that would carry him through the trials to come. Loyalty can change a battle, but trust and unity can change the course of a kingdom. The Pride Lands had survived the first wave, but the war for hearts, minds, and the circle itself was only beginning. The first light of dawn revealed the true scale of Reirei's influence. From distant ridges, Kion watched as groups of lions moved in precise formations, responding to subtle signals from their king. Every motion was synchronized, every maneuver calculated. Loyalty wasn't just a force, here it was a machine, well-oiled and relentless. Kion's heart sank slightly. This wasn't chaos like Genja's or rage like Ushiri's. This was controlled, deliberate, and terrifying in its efficiency. The circle of life was being tested in a way it had never faced before. "Look at them," Foley said, eyes narrowing. Every move anticipates the next. It's like they're reading each other's minds. Besht growled low. "That's dangerous. Blind loyalty makes them predictable. Views, but it also makes them unstoppable if we make a mistake." Ono circled above, wings beating rapidly. "We need a plan that doesn't rely on strength alone. They're too disciplined for brute force." Bunga bounced, excitement and anxiety mixing in his expression. "Then we show them what real teamwork looks like. We don't just fight, they fight the circle itself. We'll make sure loyalty can't break it." Kion nodded, chest tightening with responsibility. This battle isn't about defeating them in combat. It's about proving that loyalty without wisdom can be guided, not shattered. The first test came quickly. Rei's lions attempted to block a crucial migration path for several herds moving toward the river. Their coordination was flawless. Every lion knew its position, every flank was covered. Kion assessed the situation quickly. Attacking directly would be suicide. Instead, he turned to the animals themselves. "Follow us," he called. "There's another way." Foley darted ahead, scouting paths hidden in the brush. Besht cleared obstacles for the trapped animals, creating safe passage through narrow gaps. Ono circled high, signaling movements and spotting dangers the ground couldn't reveal. Bunga engaged Reirei's forward lions, drawing attention and creating openings without allowing harm to come to the herds. Reirei observed from a ridge, his eyes narrowing. "They adapt. They learn. They resist my control." He stepped down into the fray. Personally, fangs bared, voice calm but commanding. "Kion loyalty cannot be undone. Your tactics delay, but they do not break it." Kion met his gaze steadily. Loyalty alone can be misled. Reirei trust is what binds the circle. That's stronger than blind obedience. Reirei lunged, precise and controlled, striking with the intent to test rather than kill. Kion countered, moving in harmony with the Lion Guard. Every attack from Reirei's followers was anticipated, redirected, or neutralized. Slowly, steadily, patterns emerged. Loyalty created strength, but it also created predictability. Every synchronized move became a path Kion could exploit without giving in to anger or fear. The clash intensified near a canyon where Reirei had corralled multiple herds. The narrow paths amplified tension, forcing animals close together and testing their patience. Arguments flared briefly, claws bared in fear, but the Lion Guard intervened with skill and composure. Unity and communication kept the chaos from spilling into real harm. "You can't stop us with obedience," Reirei hissed, fangs gleaming. "They follow me because they believe." Kion stepped forward, calm and unyielding. Belief is powerful, yes, but so is choice. They are choosing to follow the circle, not just a king. As the sun rose higher, the animals began to recognize the difference. The reaction the Lion Guard took demonstrated the power of trust and teamwork over rigid loyalty. Herds moved with confidence, following guidance, not commands. Reirei's forces found their precision disrupted. Loyalties faltered when confronted with evidence that the circle, not a single leader, protected them. Frustration crept into Reirei's expression. He had relied on devotion to make his forces unstoppable, but now he realized that devotion alone could not dictate action when animals acted of their own understanding. "You think patience can defeat belief?" he hissed. "Yes," Kion replied, steady and strong. "Because unity built on understanding outlasts loyalty built on blind obedience." The battle reached its peak when Reirei attempted to isolate a herd near the cliffs. His followers moved flawlessly to block every escape, each lion acting in perfect synchronization. The Lion Guard countered, not by attacking directly, but by guiding the herd through hidden paths, using terrain to their advantage, and keeping animals calm under pressure. To trap or intimidate was neutralized by cooperation, communication, and trust. Rei lunged at Kion personally, venom dripping, teeth bared. Kion met him head-on, refusing to let anger dictate his movements. "You underestimate the power of choice," he said firmly. "Loyalty can be broken when it is tested by truth." The roar surged within Kion, a reminder of raw strength, but he did not unleash it. Using the roar to force obedience would play into Reirei's hands. Instead, he relied on strategy, teamwork, and patience. Slowly, inexorably, the advantage shifted. Reirei's followers, while loyal, began to falter when confronted with clear guidance, safety, and choice. One by one, paths opened for trapped herds. Herds moved safely through the canyon, led by the Lion Guard rather than commanded by Rei. The precision and discipline that once made the king's forces formidable became a vulnerability. The more predictable they were, the easier the guard could guide and protect the animals without confrontation. Reirei's frustration boiled over. He hissed in fury, lunging recklessly. Each attack was met with calm counteraction. His followers, seeing their king's rare miscalculation, began questioning their positions, though not openly. Loyalty alone could not sustain action when the circle itself resisted. Kion saw it clearly now. The battle wasn't about strength or speed. It was about influence, guidance, and demonstrating that the circle protected everyone, not just those who followed one leader unquestioningly. Finally, as shadows lengthened across the plains, Reirei withdrew to a high ridge, his body tense but controlled, his eyes still burning. "This is only the beginning," he hissed. "Loyalty decides battles, and loyalty will decide the circle's fate." Kion watched him go, chest heaving. He understood the truth. Loyalty is powerful, but when confronted with trust, adaptability, and choice, it can be guided or broken. The Pride Lands had survived the first day, not because loyalty failed, but because unity, strategy, and mutual understanding had proven stronger than blind obedience. As night fell, Kion sat atop Pride Rock, the Lion Guard beside him, exhausted but vigilant. This war would test hearts, minds, and the very principles of the circle of life. Reirei's loyalty was formidable, yes, but Kion's unity was unshakable. And in that quiet, Kion understood the lesson that would carry through the coming battles. Loyalty can change a battle, but trust and choice can change a kingdom. The Pride Lands had endured the first challenge, but the war for hearts and minds was only beginning. The next day brought a tension that could be felt in every corner of the Pride Lands. The air was thick with anticipation, and even the sun seemed hesitant to rise fully over the plains. Kion stood atop Pride Rock, scanning the horizon, knowing that Reirei would not remain passive. Loyalty was a force unlike any he had faced before, obedient, unwavering, and dangerously disciplined. But Kion understood that loyalty, when tested and guided correctly, could also reveal its limits. This knowledge would be the key to surviving the next wave of attacks. Reirei emerged from the outlands at first light, his mane glinting like molten gold. Behind him, his followers moved with silent precision, every lion perfectly positioned to maintain formations that maximized control over the land. Rei's calm demeanor made him more intimidating than any roar, more dangerous than any claw. "Kion!" he called, voice steady and commanding. "Today, loyalty will define the outcome. Observe how obedience can shape the battlefield." Kion narrowed his eyes. Loyalty can protect a kingdom, yes, but it can also blind those who follow without thinking. That is what we will test. 2. The first engagement began at the Great Savannah, where migrating herds had gathered for water and grazing. Reirei's lions moved to cut off access points, forcing animals into controlled areas. Their coordination was flawless. Each follower responded to subtle gestures from the king, leaving no openings for escape. Kion watched, calculating, knowing that any misstep could lead to disaster. Fuli, scout ahead, best guard the weakest herds. Ono, keep an eye on every flank. Bunga, distract and redirect where needed, Kion commanded, his voice low but firm. Each member of the Lion Guard moved with purpose, executing precise actions that relied not on brute force, but on timing, strategy, and mutual trust. Reirei stepped forward, his gaze locked on Kion. "You rely on your team, yes, but can you anticipate every loyal move? Can you adapt when their obedience creates chaos?" Kion met his gaze evenly. "We adapt together. Loyalty alone doesn't guarantee success, it's choice, trust, and unity that do." The battle unfolded in a complex dance of strategy. Reirei's followers attempted to isolate herds, using formation to guide animals into confined spaces. Kion countered by anticipating patterns, using hidden paths and distractions to open new routes. Fuli raced across the plains, drawing attention and clearing paths, while Besht positioned himself to shield vulnerable animals. Ono's eyes from above detected even the subtlest movements, allowing Kion to adjust tactics instantly. Bunga's antics drew Reirei's followers off course, keeping their attention divided. Despite the precision of Reirei's forces, cracks began to appear. Loyal followers were trained to obey without question. But when faced with the unexpected adaptability of the Lion Guard, hesitation crept in. Herds moved safely through hidden routes, animals following guidance rather than command, slowly undermining the king's control. Reirei's frustration became visible. They are resisting loyalty itself. He hissed, lunging toward Kion with teeth bared. Each strike was calculated, precise, but met with calm evasion. Kion's counters were not fueled by anger, but by understanding of both the enemy's strength and weaknesses. The climax came at a narrow canyon where Reirei had trapped a large herd, intending to demonstrate the unbreakable power of loyalty. His followers moved like a single organism, coordinated and unwavering. But the Lion Guard moved with flexibility, adapting to every maneuver, guiding the herd step by step towards safety. Each redirected path, each act of protection, subtly undermined the king's control without directly confronting his followers. Kion faced Reirei directly at the canyon's edge. "Loyalty is powerful," he said, voice calm but unyielding. "But loyalty without understanding is a chain. It can be guided or it can be broken." Reirei hissed in frustration, striking again and again, but each attack was met with precision, patience, and coordination. Slowly, the advantage shifted. Herds moved safely. Reirei's formations faltered under the unpredictable adaptability of the Lion Guard. And the unity that had once made loyalty formidable began to weaken. Finally, as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the plains, Reirei withdrew to a high ridge, his body tense but controlled. "This is not over," he hissed, Loyalty will decide the circle's fate. Kion watched him leave, understanding the critical lesson. Loyalty is powerful, but it is not infallible. Trust, strategy, and adaptability can overcome even the most devoted followers. The Pride Lands had survived another day, not because of brute strength, but because the Lion Guard exemplified unity, choice, and integrity. As night fell, Kion sat atop Pride Rock, the Lion Guard beside him, exhausted but vigilant. The next day would bring new challenges, but one truth remained: loyalty can change a battle. The trust and unity can change the course of a kingdom. The Pride Lands had endured another trial, and the war for hearts and minds was far from over.